Hi, this is a quick demo review about Juniper by Mnemonic devices. This is a 8-channel clocked modulation source. So as you can see here, you have the 8 buttons for each of the channel, and here you have the 8 output. On the top you will find 3 CV input and 1 clock input. You can assign which CV at which channel you want. We'll see that after. And as I say, it's a clocked modulation source, even if you can running free running modulation, it have a clock input. You can use one of the CV for start stop, so it will be exactly in phase with the rest of your system. So for select channel, you can quick press on select and click on the channel like that. So on each channel, which are identical, you have many parameters. The first one is wave, so you can change the waveform. Right after you have frequencies. As you can see here, we are in a clocked mode, so since there are no clock inputs on the module, it will use the internal clock, and you can see the multiplier or divider here. Right after you are amplitude. After you are morph. Morph, it's a parameter interdependent of wave. It will, for some wave, change some parameter of the wave. We will see that in a second. You have phase, and right after you have offset. So first, for a better understanding, I'm gonna use warp as a sound source. It will not be a musical demo, a much more technical one. So the sound, it's just here for illustrate the CV produce. So let's take something like that, put it in a level of warp. So right now we have connected the first CV output to the CV input of the internal warp oscillator. So let's hear how it sounds. So first, let's reduce the amplitude. As you can see the volts peak to peak here, and we are going to 0.1 incremental. But if you long press on the encoder, you can have really fine option, and long press once again. Alright, so let's see the wave we have available. The first is sine wave, so let's just something like that. After you have tangent, triangle, square, random. The random, you have many modulation on option in the morph. We'll see that after. Lorentz attractor, so chaos. Envelope, stepped, and input, because you can put a CV here and it will be going into the internal sound generation of the module. So you can CV things with, etc., etc., quantize, etc. So let's go to the sine wave, back, go to frequencies. As you can see, it go in audio rate, but it don't track 1 volt per octave. I have tried to do that, but it's not possible for now. So you can do some audio rate modulation, but it's not so good as a oscillator modulator if you want the modulation to track 1 volt per octave too. So after the frequencies, we have the amp, already see that. Let's go into morph. So let's go into morph. So as you can see, for the sine wave, it will be skew, the waveform. If we change to, let's for example, the random, which have more than one morph, as you can see here, you have some little dots. So the first one is slew. And if you long press on morph, you will go to the second parameter. Here is blend. So for this one, you have big change or small change, and you can blend between the two. And you have some more parameter for other wave, like for example, you have for the envelope, you have the attack, skew and decay time, etc, etc. Phase, it's really self-explanatory. The idea of phase is especially useful when you're using clocked modulation, because it's really easy to make things in phase or not with the beat you are using, for example. And the last one is offset. As for every parameter I just show you, you can of course remember long press on the encoder and now use find more than coarse. Okay, so now let's go see the modulation. So for each parameter you have here, you can use some internal modulation, another channel for modulate the parameter or one of the CV inputs. You can practically modulate every parameter except the wave one. So for the channel one, let's see modulated the frequencies. So you just click one time on the encoder and you access to the modulation possibilities. So here we are on off. Let's select CV2 for example, and at the end you can select external CVs. So let's use CV2 for example. Here you can choose between linear or exponential, and here this is the modulation amount. And here you have if you want to be synchronized or unsynchronized. This is some of the deeper options you have. For example, in amplitude you will have if you want the channel to be bipolar or unipolar. If you want to exit something, just press select. So now we have, let's for example modulate the offset with another channel. So one click, select channel 3, something like that. Let's it make slightly less. Now go in channel 3, like this one, and let's make slightly more speed. So go in channel 1 now. You can see we have now some modulation of the offset. It's really useful, and the modulation work like that. It's really easy to build some complex LFO and patch. And if you want to wipe every modulation, it's really easy. Double click on the select button and you can clear all the mod for the channel 1, just here. Alright, and I can clear the channel 2. So now we bring back to 10 volt peak to peak. In top of that, for each channel you have some modifiers. So bring back let's reduce slightly the peak-to-peak voltage. So for each channel, you have some modifier here in 1 and 2. So I'm in channel 1. Let's here you have a record option, so you can record some modulation and movements you're doing on the modules, and you can synchronize the record, or you can record external CV inputs. Let's see how other modifier in the one. So we have record, we have folder, so you can fold the input waveform. Let's hear it. Right after you have operand, so this is basically a logic operation. You have average, minimum, maximum, sub, add, etc, etc. And right after you have sample and hold. It can be a track and hold too, as you can see here, and you can choose any channel, any other channel for trigger it. And right after we bring back to record. So let's see quickly how record work. So let's hear. I will go to the record. So here it's recording, as you can see. So now I can move, for example, let's play the recording now. So it's playing the recording here. And you want, you can modify the recording on the fly with the little plus here. For example, let's go to the frequency really high and add a burst of these frequencies to the record. So let's hear it now. If you want to go back to the original channel without the recording, just go to stop. And now we are back to channel 1. You have another modifier, the 2, just here. So it have exactly the same as the first one, but it have one thing more, it's the scale. So it can quantize the wave you just create or external inputs, since you can use external input to go in the module. And for the scale, you need to select which one you want to use, and you can edit the scale here by selecting which one you want, like that, a sample like that. So I hope it will help you to understand how this modulation center can work. Of course, you can do many other things. For example, you can have preset of the 8 channel, recall them, etc, etc. You have a performance mode when you can easily mute or unmute preset, or you can recall states. For example, here is my 0 states. And if I want to mute here, like that. So if you have a better idea everything you can do with it, go read the manual. It's really clever and well documented. Bye bye.